Hey, this is Sam, funkypencil.com, and welcome back to part 3 of the video tutorial on perspective drawings. Now in part 2, I demonstrated how to draw this chair and very quickly did a bit of a freestyle from memory overlay, drawing this box with the chair inside it. Now, I thought I rushed it a little bit, so I just thought I would do a better version of that using the measurements that I did on the original drawing. But before we get into that, I did mention about the sort of equipment I like to use, and one of the things I like to use is this set square here, which is, it's a nice device, but it's quite a complicated affair. But you don't need to use something as complex as that. The other day I went and I bought a couple of set squares, which I got from the station shop. Now these two here cost about £3, about £3. These should do you just fine, and in fact if you use this longer version with the longer edge, then that'll set up just nicely for doing your vertical lines. Okay, right, so use a set square for your vertical lines. Now if you don't want to use a set square, you can also try a plastic ruler such as this pink version here. Just got the colour here mainly so that it shows up well on the camera. But if you don't have to use that sort of thing. You can just use a set square such as this. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to draw. I'll use the pink ruler. Draw a horizon line quite high up, which is around here. Hopefully you should be able to see that. And then, round about over the right hand side, just put a dot for the vanishing point. Now measuring towards the left, in that direction, 116 millimeters. Put a mark there. Then another mark you want to make around 80 millimeters, which is about here. And then do another mark from the horizon line down around 18 millimeters. So if you just make 2 marks here and here, you should be able to join those two up with the construction line here. Okay, using your set square, draw a line vertically down from the first point and vertically down from the second point. Okay, so now we've got front face of our box on the top line. So from that construction line here, measure down 80 millimeters again, which is here. Okay, finally draw the 2 lines together. So now we have our box, which is where the front of the chair is going to be drawn on. We've got our vanishing point over here, on to the right. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to draw some perspective lines in. So starting from the VP point, connect to the top, then this corner, and finally to the base. Okay, now from this edge here, which I'm going to label AB, just to get the thickness of the box, the depth of the box, measure out 25 millimeters. Using the set square again, draw a vertical line up, and then where it crosses the vanishing point line, do a parallel line to the top, back, there. Now where that rear line hits that perspective line, that point, draw another vertical line down. Now, horizontal line connecting the base line here. That line here, go across. And now we've got the front face of the box and we've got the rear face of the box. So if you imagine it's a sort of an X-ray that we're drawing of the whole box. Connect the 2 bottom corners with a diagonal line going back to the VP point, and now we have a transparent box. Okay, the next thing we need to do is draw the front edge or front face of the chair, and we can just kind of sketch that in. We'll just draw some faint lines here. Then at the top part of the seat, I would say go around the middle of the line AB. Connect a vanishing point to that. Bring it back. It's kind of slightly off there. It's around about there. Draw in that side of that chair. Kind of give it a shape. That's that sort of shape. Okay. Once you've done that, as I say, go back to the VP points. We start to give it some depth now. So we connect the front edge of the chair and go back to the rear part of the box. Front edge of the chair, the base part, back to the rear part of the box. Now we get, this is what's giving us the depth of the chair here. And then all we need to do now is copy this line here, but at the back edge. So what we do is you grab your set square, move it up, draw a line back. And then from the VP points, connect the corner where the seat base and the seat back meet with a line here. This is the back of the chair here. And all we need to do is come across with a line parallel to it, and now we have the seat back. Connect the two lines together, and that will give us our top. Now we just need to add in a little bit of shape into the base and to the top. Okay. Right. So now all we need to do now is draw in the base, which is I can just find that diagram. We're going to be drawing in the base here, the legs. And the best way to do this is to find the middle of this box here. And what I would do is get a diagonal line going from one corner to the next, and another diagonal line going corner to the next. And the principle behind that is, I'll just use a pen here for a second. We used to draw a square, and then connect a diagonal line from corner to corner and from corner to corner. Where they cross is the middle. We're using exactly the same idea when we draw from corner to corner on this box, or the base of the box, which is in perspective and going away from us. We draw a line going from corner to corner and from corner to corner. Where they cross is the center of that square, which is also the center of the base. So we draw a vertical line going upwards. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to flesh out the actual cylinder part of the base. So we just draw in a couple of lines here and here. Kind of using a pencil, but I actually prefer to use a pen because you get more definite lines. But I'm just using a pencil for now. And then what we're going to do is we just shape in the actual base of the cylinder, and then we'll start adding in the legs. And the legs are tapered in fashion, so if you just draw the first one going in that direction. The second one, to get the height there, we just literally just get our set square and move it up, mark it in this corner, and then connect somewhere up the top of this space here. Similarly, we do the same thing here. And then also the rear. Try to, when you're looking at these shapes, try to imagine it in skeletal form. So you're sort of seeing through the shape, so you can sort of see where things are joining. Okay, So we'll just add a little bit of thickness to the legs. Here and here. And here. A little bit of thickness to the front edges of the legs. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is just add in a little bit of thickness where the upholstery wraps around the frame of the chair. What I'm doing here, so it's pretty tricky using this thing actually. I prefer my one, which has got the little knob handle. Just draw in, just sketch it in. Don't be too precious about with the lines that I'm meeting up or anything, because what we're going to do is do a much neater overlay of this without all the construction lines. Okay, so that's the actual shape of the chair. So the next thing we're going to do is do an overlay. So what we'll do now, grabbing another piece of layout paper, let's test it out. We then place that over our original drawing, line it up quite nicely, and put down some masking tape. Grab a little bit of tape first. Here and here. Now what we're going to do is do a nice neat overlay using a... Oh gosh, sorry folks, the video's cut short. Don't worry about that, just go straight to part 4 and you'll be able to pick up where I left off on the video. Anyway, check out part 4.